everybody, it's Michelle from Michelle Farrell Coaching and co-founder and co-coach of Straight Up Strong. Recently, a member of Straight Up Strong asked, why do I feel the chest press motion, that movement in my shoulders and triceps more than I feel in my chest? And honestly, this is a very common question or observation that folks have about the chest press. And there are 3 to 4 big tweaks, they're actually small tweaks, that can make a big impact in how and where you are feeling this movement, okay? So if we think about our chest muscles, our pectoral muscles, all right? And if you put your hand actually on your chest, one side of your chest, like you're pledging allegiance, right? Or singing a song, I don't know, whatever people put their hands on their hearts for. And if you take your arm and you think about where you start feeling, just play around with it. When do you start feeling your chest fire on? And when are you not feeling it? Just kind of play around with. All I'm doing is kind of pushing my arm forward and out to the side, right? Where are you feeling this the most in your chest muscle? I'll give you a second. All right. You are most likely feeling your chest as you are bringing your arm in towards your body, all right? Because that is the primary role of our chest muscles, is to bring our arms in towards our bodies, okay? So one of the biggest things that I see with folks when they are doing a dumbbell chest press, and we're going to focus on the dumbbell chest press today as opposed to the barbell, is that folks are trying to have their arms out super wide at the side. And this makes sense because this actually gives us a little bit more strength because we're also utilizing other muscles that are typically stronger than our pectoral muscles. And so we're compensating by having our arms out wider, but then we're not actually feeling the impact because our body is compensating in other ways. So instead of having our arms out super wide to the side, just bringing them down at this like 45-degree angle. It's kind of like I have an arrow from my head to the tips of my elbows, okay? And in this position, we are going to be more optimally aligned to work into our chest. Now, that being said, we also want to make sure that we're not too close in together because that's when our triceps are going to start to really fire on to help support this movement more. So unless you are looking to really focus on your triceps, like in a tricep push-up, our arms are closer together. We want to put those arms out at about that 45-degree angle here in our chest press. So again, imagine I'm on the floor here walking you through this. I find it easier to kind of demonstrate in this direction. So the next thing that you're going to want to pay attention to here is that, bear with me here, that your wrist is staying over your elbow through the whole motion, that we are not bending our elbows in. So from my shoulder, my arms come into that 45-degree angle, but as I push up, my wrists stay over my shoulders, so I'm not bending in. This is also going to help maximize feeling this motion in our chest. The next thing that happens is when our shoulders are trying to compensate and help us out, especially because we live in a world where we're so often at the computer, driving our car, we really want to make sure when we do our warm-ups, if we are doing any sort of chest work in our exercise, that we are working on opening up our chest and thinking about bringing our shoulder blades and our shoulders back and out of our ears, retracting them down, okay? So when we are doing our chest press, we want to think about, so again, we are in that, our shoulders come into that 45-degree angle, my wrists stay over my forearms, and as I press up, I want to avoid pressing up. And I'm over exaggerating here so you can see this. And then when we come down, make sure we open up our chest, which is why it can be helpful to be on a bench. If you don't have a bench, that's okay. We can make it work, right? But think about bringing those shoulder blades back and down. And then as we press, making sure our shoulders don't then come up to give us that extra inch on the press. So I'm going to come down on the floor and show you how this can look in action. So you'll see I'm going to grab my dumbbells. My arms come in to that 45-degree angle. And as I lay back, you'll notice, hopefully from this direction, that my wrists are over my elbows, okay? But from my shoulders, I'm not out here, I'm in here. So I'm gonna keep my feet flat for now, just so you can see from this angle, paying attention here, right? And then I'm gonna think about drawing those shoulder blades back and down. And when I do that, I am naturally creating, if you look from the side, drawing my shoulder blades down, I'm creating a little arch with my lower back. So my shoulders and my butt is connected to the surface here, okay? 45 degrees, wrists are over my elbows, and then as I press, I'm coming up, and oh yeah, I really feel that right in my chest, and keeping right up over my chest, making sure I'm not over my belly button, making sure I'm not over my head, right here, and then coming back down in that same direction that I started. So bringing those shoulder blades back, pressing up, and lowering down. And if you use one arm, and you really think about and feel through your chest as you are pressing, versus play around again with where you're feeling the movement if you're positioning your arm in some of these other common directions that we might be doing. Now, when you start making these little tweaks to your chest press form and you start feeling it more in your chest, you might find that you need to actually lessen the amount of weight that you are using to perform this movement with that form so that you're feeling it in your chest. Try to avoid letting ego come in your way, right? And because sometimes we all know that ego, especially when it comes to fitness, especially when it comes to strength training, can really inhibit us from actually maximizing our efforts in the long run. And that's because if we are lifting something that is too heavy for the muscle that we are actually trying to target, all the other muscles are going to fire on to help compensate to push that weight. So hopefully these little tips and tweaks were helpful for you. Would love to hear if they were or what other questions you have. If you are a beginner to strength training, one of the movements that we go over in Fitness Academy for Beginners, Coach Tina and I in Straight Up Strong, is the chest press and the push-up. So if you are looking to get started with strength training, to hone in on your skills and your form, to lay a strong foundation for a lifetime of sustainable lifting, come join us in Fitness Academy for Beginners. The next cohort starts October 12th, 2022. If a new cohort is not currently open, if you're watching this maybe in 2023, jump on the wait list. It is the same link in the comments, in the caption that you would use to jump on. So we would love to see you there. And if you have any other suggestions for exercises you would like a breakdown like this, please also let us know in the comments so we can make sure we are giving you the content that is going to be the most helpful for you. All right, until next time.